Hi Stamping friends, welcome back to another card in the November 2014 online card class. This cue card is really a manly type of card. We are using the background stamp from previous online classes, which was the hardwood. We're also using, I'm using the For You, Thinking of You stamp from this set. And then you were told that you needed to order the Festival of Trees with the tree punch as part of your online class. So as you know, in the online classes, you get a set of PDF instructions that tell you the measurements and the instructions on how to put these cards together. These videos are a bonus. I'm a very visual person, so I like to see somebody doing it, like walk me through. So in your card kit, you will get the crumb cake card base, an espresso square, and a whisper white square, and your envelope. Okay, you get an envelope. You will also have in your kit some crumb cake pieces and some whisper white, as well as very vanilla. So these are the two pieces that I need for this card. And the first thing I want to do is do my stamping. So let me get my tree out. And for this tree, we are using this one that's kind of in the middle. Have you been using your photopolymer stamps and they just don't seem quite as sticky? Well, here's a tip for you. Take them to the sink and just use some hand soap, just as if you were going to wash your hands. So squirt it on there, wash your hands, pat it dry. Guess what? It's sticky again. Amazing. All right, so I'm just going to add this to my block. Like that. And I'm using Old Olive. Ink this up. And I'm going to stamp one tree. Now, it's going to stick to your paper, so peel that off. And then before I re-ink, I'm going to stamp again so I get a shadow of a tree. Do you see that? Ink up your stamp again. Stamp off to the side. So I'm actually stamping off the paper. Don't ink again. Go ahead and do another shadow. So now this is what my card looks like so far. Okay. And ink up one more time and stamp off the other edge. So fun. Then you're going to take your scrap of paper and you're going to ink up one tree. Stamp straight down, lift straight up. Then we're going to take our punch and punch out just the one tree. We're not going to punch out those other ones. Those are our forest trees in the background. Okay, so you know me, we're going to use some dimensionals on the back of this tree. Then we're going to stick it up. Nope, we're not going to stick it just yet. You're going to take a piece of your crumb cake paper, and in your kit from me, you will have it already cut to a 3-inch piece. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it for you here on video. Put that over there. So the first thing you're going to do, you'll have it 3 inches, and then you're just going to use the tools that you come with, which are called your fingers, and you're just going to tear kind of a hills and valley kind of a tear, like this. Okay, so now you have two pieces. You have one piece about this size that you've torn with your fingers, and then you have this piece. So you're going to take this piece back to the trimmer, and you're going to trim it, and oh, I would say probably maybe a 1/2 inch. If you need to trim it more, you can, but you're just going to get a little piece. So now you have two pieces like this. Move my trimmer out of the way. I'm going to go back to this piece, and I want to take one of my dirt mounds. Oops, I said 3 inches. That's not right. It's 2.5 inches. Okay, so just for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and just trim it with my scissors. There we go. Okay, So this is a dirt mound, is what I'm calling it. Now, to put adhesive on this little dirt mound, to keep your surface from getting all sticky from excess adhesive, we have these little silicone mats. I love using my silicone mat. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to use my adhesive. And guess what? There's no sticky there. Love it. So then I want to put one of my forest mounds of dirt right here. Then I'm going to take my tree and I'm going to stick it right there, kind of offset. Then I'm going to put some adhesive on my other dirt mound. Make sure you get it to the edges. You don't want that to lift up. It's got a little bit of a curve to it since I tore it with my fingers. And then I'm just going to lay this on top of it. And now where the other dirt mound peeks out in the back, you may not be able to see it on the video, but you'll see 2 layers of dirt. And I'm going to lift my little tree above that. There you go. Isn't that cute? All right, let's put the rest of the card together. And I'm going to layer this on here with some snail. Oops. So there's that piece. I'm going to set that aside. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to ink up our big hardwood background stamp. And I'm using crumb cake. I have the stamp facing me, facing up. Then I'm going to ink this up. And then this is the front of my card. I'm going to lay this on here. Okay. I'm going to use my instructions. They come in for more than one use. And just press this. So I call it upside down stamping. Just going to give that a good firm pressure. Take that off. So then see, there's no ink there. So I did really good. But now I have my card front inked up. Set that aside. And the next thing I need is my scrap of white paper again. And I'm going to take the little bird and I'm going to ink him up. And I'm going to stamp him. Okay. And we don't have a punch for the bird, so you're going to have to get your scissors out and you're going to have to cut him out. There, all done. Okay, so we're going to add our little bird with a dimensional. Now, the bird is kind of tiny, so if I use one of my big squares, it's kind of a lot. Now, if you've used up dimensionals, like use up the whole sheet, you know that you get this little border right here. Perfect for our little bird. Just going to snip off a piece, take that, stick that on the back of my bird. No waste. Love it. Go ahead and add our bird. And he is flying into the tree. Gonna land soon. All right, let's add some snail on the back of this piece. Attach that to our card right there. Now the last thing we need is the thinking of you, and we're going to use our scrap of craft paper, and I'm going to actually use a darker ink. I'm using Early Espresso, and I'm going to ink up my stamp, and then stamp it right there. Okay. And I'm going to take my paper trimmer. Let me get that into the video so you can see. And I'm going to trim this up pretty close to my words and scoot it over just a little bit. If you kind of hold on to that plastic piece, it'll keep your paper still for you. Another fun tip. That's what these videos do. You can share tips instead of always trying to write out all the instructions. Now, I want my banner to go on here. That's a little big, so I'm going to go ahead and take my snips and just give that a closer, because it's going to butt up against the edge. And then I want to use, I'll trim that off just a little bit. I'm going to use my little banner tail on this side. So I snipped up the middle, came from each corner, met it in the middle, okay? And I want to take, I'm just going to use my bone folder to come up on the end. And what are we going to use? Dimensionals. I have a son who has a birthday coming up, and so these cards that we're doing this month are just perfect. Now I just have to decide which one I want to send him. Okay, there's our card. Hope you enjoyed.